talking about Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said that James Harden is the best player in basketball today.
Yeah.
And
this is him, like, clarifying.
Yes, and Barkley also said, this is me clarifying it as well. He said, although Jordan and Kobe are better offensive players, he thinks that James Harden is the best offensive player that he has ever seen.
Yeah.
So Barkley,
I don't get it.
Yes, because he saw Kobe and Jordan, so I really don't get it either.
Yeah.
Is he trying to save face by like?
So
probably.
He's basically saying that, okay, like, I know the consensus is these two guys are better than Harden, but for me, I'm taking Harden.
Okay.
So he believes Harden is the best offensive player to play basketball. And I'm gonna go last on this because I got something to say. Okay, I want you to go first because I know you don't agree with this.
I don't agree to an extent. I think offense. I'm glad he kept his when he said, "Oh my God,
it's coming on."
Yeah, here we go.
It's coming on, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't do it while he's.
Fear the beard. Fear the beard.
Yo, this guy's crazy.
That joint is clean.
Oh man. All right, so. Ask me the question to give.
Look, I'll go first because you're distracted by the beautiful beard.
I got it. I want to say this. I got it. When he talks about offense, like I'm glad they said offense because if we were just talking scoring, it's not close. It's Michael Jordan without a doubt. But we're talking about offense, which means playmaking is added into the offense. And is he the best? You can make an argument. Now, I'm sure Joel has a strong argument. I'm not gonna lie, there are probably gonna be some things I can't disagree with because James Harden is one of the most prolific passers in the NBA right now. He's one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA right now. So it's gonna be things where I'm gonna be like, you can make an argument for James Harden being number one offensively, like strictly just offense. I want to say this though. I want to give some headshine on the guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe, who were great passers, not as good as James Harden. I'm not saying they were, but they were great passers that played in a system where they couldn't showcase that, which is,
I agree.
If everybody doesn't know, it's called the triangle. The triangle puts your best player in the best position to score the ball. It doesn't showcase much of your playmaking. So guys we all see Michael Jordan before the triangle was putting up 7-8 assists. He was averaging triple-double at one point at the point guard spot. He can be a great playmaker. It's just when they played in the triangle, obviously you can't showcase that. Steph Curry is also, I think James Harden's a better offensive player because of his playmaking, but Steph Curry is also up there in terms of offensive player of all time. I think he's definitely up there in that conversation. But when you talk about James Harden being the number one offensive player ever, I ain't gonna lie. It could be. It's like you can't say definitively no,
and you can't say definitively
yes, but you can't call it blasphemy because I believe he's top 5 offensive player.
It's justified. It's justified
because you can throw KD up there, but KD's not a playmaker like that. Like it's just terms of scoring. You can say KD, but offensive, like you're putting the total package in there. James Harden might be top 3. I ain't gonna lie.
For me, it's not a debate for me. And look, I have no reason to be biased. I have no reason to say that James Harden.
You got the beard. I'm talking about. I can't be biased.
Offensive player ever. I have no incentive to say this.
Okay.
I just go by what I see. I will be honest. I did not see Jordan. I was too young for that. But I did see Kobe. Okay. I did see Kobe. I did see Harden. And when we talk about the best offensive players of all time, we often talk about Jordan, Kobe, and then Harden. He gets brought up. Chris Paul, one of the best point guards of all time, said that James Harden is the best offensive player he's ever seen. He played against Kobe. He's seen Kobe up close. He said James Harden is the best he's ever seen. If you want to argue longevity, Harden is not there. Same thing with Draymond. Harden has 21,000 career points.
Are you going to bring up LeBron? LeBron has to be in this conversation.
I know. No, I'm saying, look, Harden 22,000. He's about to hit 22,000. So if we're talking longevity, no. But I compare James Harden to the two players that he's often compared to. But first, I'm going to say this. James Harden in 2019 had 32 straight games with 30 points. That's the longest since the NBA merger and second all time. Wilt is the only other guy to do it.
He doesn't count.
And Wilt played in like an
Nobody
era.
counts.
He doesn't count, bro. Don't even
Wilt
count.
played in an era where like they had 80 more possessions a game. So Harden would have definitely had that.
They played us.
And just to dispute your point about the triangle offense, it's an offense to put your scorers in the best positions to score.
Yeah.
That's telling me Harden would have averaged more points. Maybe not assists. He would have had a lot of assists, but in terms of points, he would have had more points.
I would have to disagree.
Especially having a mid-range game, adding that to his game.
Wait. Yeah. Wait. Before you continue, you can't say that because in this era he takes more threes than both of them, Jordan and Kobe. So he's gonna, if he takes more threes than we all know they take the same amount of free throws.
Yeah.
So I know that for a fact. But he takes more threes than both of them. And in James Harden, in order for you to put, James Harden always has the ball, so he always decides what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
In a triangle, you don't always decide what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It could be a time where somebody else takes the ball or somebody else takes the shot.
I get that, but listen. I put Jordan's best scoring years, Kobe's best scoring year, and Harden's best scoring year all together.
I bet you Kobe's not even close.
We are going to start with James Harden 2018-2019 season.
Okay.
He averaged 36 points per game, 7.5 assists per game, 6.6 rebounds, had a 118 offensive rating.
Sheesh.
48.3 points per game per 100 possessions. He had a 9.4 offensive box plus minus, 11.4 offensive win shares, and 61.6 true shooting percentage, and he shot 11 free throws per game. Jordan, 1985, 1986, he averaged 37 points per game, so he averaged more points than James Harden. He averaged 4.6 assists per game, so less assists than Harden. I think this was before Phil Jackson came, so this was not the triangle.
This was Doug.
Yeah, this was him playing freely. He had a 117 offensive rating, lower than James Harden, an 8.4 offensive box plus minus, lower than James Harden, and an 11.9 offensive win shares, so that is higher than James Harden, but a 56% true shooting percentage, which
his jump shot was
which is lower than James Harden as well, and he shot 11.9 free throw attempts per game, so that's more than Harden. And then we go on to Kobe, 2005-2006, when he was playing with Smush Parker and those guys. 35 points per game, which is lower than Harden and Jordan. 4.5 assists per game, which is lower than Harden and 0.1 lower than Jordan. 114 offensive rating, lower than Harden. 7.4 offensive box plus minus, lower than Harden. 11.6 offensive win shares, a little bit higher than Harden, not as high as Jordan. And then he had a 56% true shooting percentage, lower than Harden. And then when we talk, and he had 10.2 free throw attempts per game, so around the same as Harden.
Okay.
And then we often hear the argument, what about the usage percentage? Harden, has such a high usage percentage.
I think they're all the same, right?
Harden's best scoring season, he had a 40.5 usage percentage. In Jordan's, he had a 38.3.
Okay.
And in Kobe's, he had a 38.7. So they are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So I would say when you're ranking their best scoring seasons and their best offensive seasons, James Harden comes away as the best offensive scoring season as all time. And I think Harden is number one in points per possession all time, which means how many points does he generate per possession? He's number one all time. You mentioned it. As a scorer, I'll probably take Jordan. I'll probably take Kobe. Actually, I won't take Kobe. I'll probably take Jordan. I will take KD. But when we're talking about an all-around offense, we're talking about passing. I mean, James Harden as a passer is here, and those guys are here. So because of that, we're talking about scoring, which Harden is pretty even with them at. And then you bring in passing. I think Harden is the best offensive player that's ever played the game. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Harden fan.
He made some good points.
I don't have an incentive to say this. It's not like I'm wearing a beard on my face. I'm not, this is just me being genuine. It's me being real about the game of basketball. And I think James Harden, people love to laugh at the fact that
he's a loser.
He's not going to. No, people like to laugh at the fact that he's not with these top guys, but he is. And people are still trying to kind of cast him out that debate with Dwayne Wade as who's better. James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade. I think all time too. He's better than Dwayne Wade.
You want to go ahead? I have a question.
Okay. Let me say this real quick then. The reason why he's not on their level is because you just look at the careers. Like, MJ 6 rings, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 MVPs. Kobe is like, all right, but like Jordan, the reason why you kind of like just look at their life and just see what's going on. What did I say? You were gonna make some strong points, and it was like it's hard to disagree with your points. I want to say one thing though, like. You talking about offense? You didn't say LeBron. I don't know why.
Yeah,
you didn't say LeBron.
I was gonna ask, where's LeBron in this conversation?
Yeah, that's what I really want to get at. Where's LeBron?
I'll say this too. What also puts Harden over the top for me is that he plays with the beard that I don't know how he plays with. I was wearing it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It is annoying, and it gets really hot under there. So I'll give him some extra points for that too. But yes, LeBron is definitely there. I'm not gonna lie, LeBron is there. But when we're talking about as a playmaker,
go ahead. Who's better?
I think
it's similar. It's similar.
I said who's better. I didn't actually what's similar.
It's similar.
Who would you choose? Non-Harden, non-bias. Who's the better playmaker?
I think when you talk about like who makes the better passes, I think LeBron.
Who makes their team better?
That's close. That's really close. I'm not gonna lie. It's really close.
Have you seen what LeBron has done?
I was about to say.
No, I think LeBron and Harden are the two guys in the NBA.
They're the best.
I agree.
I
the
agree
only two guys in the NBA that can literally carry like garbage teams. LeBron could do it further though. But I think LeBron can do it further. LeBron could do it further because he's 6'8", 260. So
you're saying size
and
plays into
his
factor.
defense is elite, right?
Okay.
But we talk about playmaking first, passing ability. I think it's pretty even. I would give the edge to LeBron only because of IQ. I think IQ, he has that edge. But as a scorer, I would give Harden the edge.
I agree.
Yeah. That's why I like that Charles said best offensive player and not best scorer, because if we're talking scorer, I'm choosing KD, I'm choosing Mike, I'm choosing Kobe. So when we talk about in terms of offensive player, he has a valid point, but I just can't put Harden over LeBron. I think LeBron is the better offensive player, just more well-rounded, more complete, but Harden is the better scorer. But you can say he's the better offensive player. That's why I kind of agreed with Charles when he said he's a better offensive player than Mike and Kobe. Let me just say this for the record. I did not grow up watching Mike, so I won't go there, but I did, get to catch Kobe. And in terms of scoring, I feel like they're better scorers. I feel like they can score at all three levels, back to the basket, mid-range especially. They couldn't get the long range, so I feel like that's where Harden definitely gets the edge. He's definitely a better three-point shooter, more consistent three-point shooter. But his ability to play make, his ability to score at such a high clip and make his teammates better and put up easily 10, 11 assists a night, you got to give it to him. He's put up astronomical numbers throughout his entire career, but to a better scorer, no, but best playmaker, to me, I'll put it up there with him and LeBron. But I'm giving the edge to LeBron.
I even said it once. I said if we're moving Harden to the point guard position, he's the best point guard of all time. I would put him over Magic.
Yo, what is wrong with you?
But why do you do that? Why do we do the all time? Because I just feel like
you can't do that.
Different, generations are different. Like the style of basketball changes per era. So
you're comparing
it's tough.
You're comparing a true point guard. Like Magic was a true point guard to a guy who was a two guard, came in just scoring and decided I'm going to be a one now.
He was always a true point.
No.
He was a combo at Arizona State. Come on, bro.
He was always a true point.
Like Magic was a true point guard.
He played the point guard in OKC. It wasn't. Russ was always the two. He was more of a two.
But he's like a combo though.
We're not saying Harden's a true point guard.
He's not a true point guard.
I don't think he's a true point guard.
I mean,
don't do that. First of all, he's not better than Steph. Let me get back to that.
What is a true point guard in today's game? It's like Ricky Rubio's, Lonzo's, and Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul's the epitome.
He's the last.
The true point guards are kind of died out,
because it's a different era. That's what Reeves is going back.
It's a scoring era.
He's right. It is hard to compare eras because the atmosphere, the condition, it's different. The game is just completely different.
Yeah.
So I watch Jordan on YouTube all the time, but I'm gonna stretch it. I'm just gonna cut it off and go from 2000 to now.
Yeah.
I do agree with Joel though. James Harden is the best offensive player. Like we're gonna just cut out. James Harden is the best. I think he's a better offensive player than Kobe. I think he's a better offensive player than KD. I think he's the better offensive player than Steph. I think he is the best offensive player like we have in this game. I think number 2 though is Steph though. I ain't gonna lie.
I won't disagree.
LeBron and Steph. I think Harden, LeBron, and Steph got to be the 3.
If you had to give me Harden or LeBron as the answer for the question,
well, they are without a doubt the best floor raisers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Them two. Yeah, those two are the best floor raisers we've ever seen in NBA history.
Yeah.
So those would be like. And with floor raising, it comes with that certain responsibility, the ability to do both, be that primary playmaker and be that scorer in times when your team needs. So I think those two are definitely the top 2 guys at that.
Yeah.
And like Joel said, playmaking, James Harden has really asserted himself as one of the better playmakers in our game.
I agree.
So I think I wouldn't go too far as to say he's the best point guard ever. I think Magic still holds that spot. But I think I think
you've argued before Steph could hold that spot over Magic.
Yeah, but
I would argue that
I wouldn't
as well.
put Harden as a 1 ever. Like I would say he's just a 2. Like I would.
But I think if Harden were to make that decision that I'm a full-time 1, I think he's better than Steph at the 1.
You're a silly rabbit.
We don't have enough track record.
Yeah, he's been a 1 for like.
I mean, 2016 when he
played,
averaged 11 assists, and this year too.
But Pat
That's
Bev
2
was the
years.
1. He was just bringing the ball up. See, it's different. Like,
Yes, but okay,
it's hard.
Yeah,
bro.
it's hard.
But okay, Pat Bev is the 1 on paper, but the 1 when you watch the game is Harden.
But
So
he
then-
only
then
played a
the-
true
so then
point
if that's
guard
the
1
case,
year though.
Steph is not the 1. Draymond is the 1.
You could argue that as well.
Steph is legit not the
Yeah.
1. But that's besides the point. We're not comparing. You wanted to go to Steph Harden route.
Facts.
Not comparing
No,
that.
I'm just telling you that if you think Harden has a debate over Magic and all-time point guards,
I just
and
think-
Harden's a better point guard than Steph, he has a debate
Hard-
over.
no, 'cause
I
Magic
just think
too.
it's unfair because he hasn't been a true point guard long enough. Like this year right now with Brooklyn is this. You correct me if I'm wrong. You're the James Harden
it's like
guy.
his third,
but I
fourth
think
year
it's his
playing 1?
second. Is this his second or third year like playing true point guard?
Since
like,
D'Antoni
designated point
got
guard.
to Houston, he's been playing a 1. So I would
Even
say
with
about
CP
5.
there.
Yeah, they took turns.
Okay.
I would
They
say
took turns.
this. Like it's hard to compare eras regardless. I
Yeah.
think like now if we can go Harden, Curry for the best point guard in our era, and
Yeah.
obviously Magic. He's to set the standard. But I think like when you're talking about like true point guards, I think Chris Paul is like the lasting guy of this era to be like a true point guard. I
Yeah.
think Lonzo, but he's not at that
Level
yet.
LaMelo, I think you put
LaMelo,
LaMelo,
you can
yeah,
put
he's
him
tough.
up there. I
He's
think
tough.
those would be the guys. But yeah, Harden, I think like when people talk about it all the time, it's hard for me to put Harden because when you talk about it all the time, you talk about everything, totality of everything. And I think what Harden is missing, we all know Harden's better than D Wade. We know that.
Yeah.
But I think D Wade, the image we have of D Wade, that run he had is so like it's nostalgia for us. It's like it's sitting and lasting in our brains. Like Harden has to get that 1 for him to go over D Wade. Like, we know he's a better player, but when you have that type of legendary run, and Harden hasn't had that yet, it's hard to cement him over him. But I think when it's all said and done with Harden, he'll probably end up 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's why I say that I don't think Harden will ever end up better than Kobe because he's missing those 5 championships.
Okay.
And I think Harden maybe
and the impact of Kobe
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
those 5 championships.
I think Harden maybe
He'll never catch
he
MJ.
could get to 1. He could maybe get to. I think he'll get to 3 at most.
Yeah, the most would be 3,
Okay.
in my opinion.
But Kobe just has too many championships where he's done it with Shaq and as the man.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll ever get to Kobe. The reason he could get to Wade is because Wade
He got
won the
hurt.
chip by himself, but then kind of got carried by LeBron with the other 2. He wouldn't have had those chips without LeBron.
I would
if
say
he goes there.
I would say with Wade, he probably if LeBron plays a little better, Wade wins that Finals MVP with Dallas. If they win that, I think D Wade wins that one.
Yeah.
But I think with D Wade, his longevity and his prime isn't what Harden's is. I think Harden because D Wade, the knee injuries, and I think he was carrying teams like he was a good floor raiser. He was carrying them to first round exits. So you got to give him some credit for that. He was leading his team in points, assists, rebounds, and steals. But I think in terms of like Harden was leading teams like him, bad teams, but further. And his longevity is longer. So
and
he's
in the West.
Yeah, in the West. In the West. So like it's gonna be Harden's gonna cement him immediately once he gets 1. I think with Wade it's just the knee problems.
No MVPs either.
Yeah, he didn't get an MVP because he could have got one, but his team wasn't that good. So it's like Harden's gonna cement him early as soon as he gets the first ring.
Yeah,
Harden, the 3rd best shooting guard ever.
That debate starts to happen and goes in Harden's favor.
Yeah,
the D Wade and Harden.
Yeah,
I don't think it's really a debate.
It's not, but it is.
D Wade or Harden?
I would take Harden.
Okay,
I'll take Harden too, but I think the nostalgia is
right now. I mean, in terms of their overall career,
Harden.
I think.
Don't get me wrong, I love D Wade, but Harden. I love D Wade, but Harden. I would take D Wade just because of bias.
Yeah, like I would take D Wade right now.
I just love D Wade. Like, that's really it.
But like you said, once Harden starts, getting some championships, then I can fully put him over D Wade. Right now, I'm still hesitant.
He's already. Some people still have AI over him. I don't know why.
Over who?
Harden. I don't know why. I think AI just is.
I think it's the attachment, the allure, the idea of AI,
the swagger
and what
of
he's
AI.
meant for the game.
Yeah, but I have Harden over AI.
Yeah. I don't know why people still have AI over Harden.
Harden,
I don't think
AI is no longer top 5, right? No, he is. He is
what top 5 guards?
He's the 5th best 2 guard ever. Harden's 4th.
I think some people go off of your impact and what you meant to the game. Like, does that factor in when we say how great somebody is?
No, because Steph would be top 5 ever.
But also, I think AI just leading the Sixers to the finals. That
was tough too.
No, I really believe it's the nostalgia of AI, like what he meant for young kids growing up, like the swag, the cornrow, the do-rags in the games, the no practice. I think like that set a lasting memory. Because if people remember, like a lot of people don't notice, but a few times in his runs, he got outplayed by old Reggie Miller. Kobe locked him up. Like it was the times where he folded, but people don't remember that because people don't go back and they just remember AI. Finals run. Oh, AI did this for me. He did that for me. He making me want to play ball. Like that's what it is. People don't actually go dig in deep onto basketball, and I think that's what. But we're watching Harden play, and we have so much criticism of Harden because we're actually seeing it live on TV. Yeah. For people back then, people don't go back and look it up. So I think that's what it really is, honestly.